First half, and here's Henry. Brilliant control. Thierry Henry does what he does best. Have a little turn from Jermaine Defoe. Can he go all the way? Oh, he can. He's through the Spurs defence. Patrick Vieira. Arsenal in the comfort zone. Spurs. They bet forward and King for the free kick and a goal. Ledley King. Get it through to Gareth Bale. Foothold for Tottenham. It's a penalty. Holding can't believe it. Kane makes it 2-1, and Spurs, who conceded first, are in front thanks to their main man in this victory.
So Saka trying to go around his man, pulls the ball back and it's in! Arsenal have scored, and it's Emil Smith-Rowe. Saka paid back defending, but it's Saka 3-0. Arsenal have made it 3-0.
Hello everyone, we welcome you to a new episode of the Away Gooners podcast. My name is Arun and I am joined today by Bob. Hello Bob.
Hey mate, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good, man. Very good.
Now that the niceties are out of the way, we are going to introduce the special guest for our show, a person whom we had to cross 7 mountains and 7 seas to find, because these bunch are very difficult to find. They exist in their holes and it's very difficult to find them. Finally we found one from our very own India, from Mumbai, and that's Aarya Gupta from Mumbai Spurs.
Clearly.
Welcome to the show, Aarya. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here.
Lovely to have you on the show as well. This show is going to be a lot of fun. We are really looking forward to the show. We'll try to make it as entertaining as possible.
I have been as well. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is going to be a lot of interruptions, a lot of banter in the show, because it's that time of the year. It's the NLD time. Other fans, even Arsenal fans, might have seen this fixture as a non-entity till about 8 years ago, until the neighbors started making noise. So now it's become a big point, who is going to get that top 4, who's going to get that 4th spot. That's the main theme behind all of our NLD clashes of late. The only difference is now we are at the top of the table, something to really raise our colors about and make some noise about from our side for a change for this time. Arya has been really nice to join us for this episode and join in on all the banter. And we spoke about the banter being the levels of banter before, and there's going to be a lot of heavy banter from Arya's side as well. So, with one
I'm going to try to make it, yeah. I'm going to try.
Well, that's what your team has been doing for all this while, so it's okay. We'll go in. So yes, with all that out of the way, we'll go into the topics. But before going into the topics, we'll just have a quick announcement, which is basically about the support that you guys have been giving us so far. Thanks a lot for all the support. We try to bring in people from teams that we're facing every week, and the way in which you guys can support us, to continue your support, is to subscribe to our channel or comment more on the videos that we make. We take all the comments in and we try to make the show even better for the next one. So with that out of the way, we'll jump into the topics after that lengthy intro. So once again, Arya, thanks a lot for joining us.
Thank you
my
for having
first
me, man.
question. Yeah, like I said, it was very difficult to find someone, especially from India. Trust me, I've tried hard, and that's where my first question is coming from. Basically, like I said, even if you took maybe a decade ago, a Spurs fan club existing at the level that you guys are, organizing regular video, also regular shows for games and all that, was unheard of. Now, all of a sudden, in the last 10 years, because when you think about it, with the advent of Premier League in India, the big 4 teams were the ones that actually got the fans, and because they were the ones who were advertised mostly on TV. With City coming in, that equation changed a bit, and then with City winning, obviously when a team wins, people start following them, and they had fantastic players and all that. How did Tottenham come into the middle of all this?
I knew you were coming here.
How did you guys come into the middle of all this? That's been like I said, it's very difficult to find you guys. But when I do find you guys, I'm surprised. How did these guys grow this big in such a short span of time?
I'm gonna make it really simple for everyone who's watching. We are here. We are here in numbers, and we are here with a lot of passion. All right. Things were maybe different 10 years ago. I'm sure of it. But right now, I think the fan base has gotten pretty strong, and yeah, and that's about it. And even I was shocked when I started watching football, which was very recently compared to, I'm sure, the two of y'all. I thought I was the only fan in this country, and it turns
Is
out,
it is
yeah,
this
I'm being
post
honest.
is this post the Ajax game which the following increased more?
Or
Actually,
I think it's more with the Pochettino tenure, right? Like when you guys started playing good football after a long time.
it's I myself started watching in the 2018 season. The Champions League campaign was the one I started watching with, and I saw. I think, to be very honest, the numbers increased after Mourinho was appointed as manager. To be really honest,
Okay.
when
Interesting.
Mourinho came in, we saw in Mumbai Spurs a chunk of fans or new fans or Mourinho fans wanting to watch Tottenham, check it out, and so that's when we saw a lot of numbers go up, and we saw a lot of numbers leave as well. The WhatsApp chat, I don't know. I'm not in touch with them anymore, and to be honest, it's very tough to be in touch with everyone like
For sure, for
in
sure.
the groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
See, I think
yeah, that's
as a fan hailing from India, right? Obviously I've got my roots there. It's quite different because we are completely disconnected from all the happenings and all those sort of things. And to be dedicated and then sticking to one team for people who can't understand that from our side, it's a bit tough because obviously we get to watch all the games and all those sort of things. It's easier to switch loyalties, if I were to say as an easier word. But then more so difficult in your case because for you to follow, I mean, with all due respect, right? I sort of
definitely.
admire the way that Tottenham is actually taking through and all those sort of things. But then at the end of it, fans, especially fans of these days, I've been watching football for a long time to comment on this, but then fans these days mostly are looking for trophies. I mean, all that they are looking for is silver. Where whatever form it is.
It's not just that, if I may add on, it's also the banter culture that surrounds it. And every time you do not win something, the team that wins it or the fans of the team that wins it are going to like be chirping in your ears all the time. As Arsenal fans, we know that really
Tell
well
me
because of
about it.
Yeah.
I
Tell
mean,
me about it.
that's the
How
thing.
hard, I was just coming to the point where how hard is it to stick? And then how passionate you are that you're going to be
Honestly, if you really love something, I don't think it's hard to stick around or stick by it. I mean, I started watching football because a friend suggested, and Tottenham happened to be one of the teams which was playing at that moment. I switched on the Premier League, and he told me watch Premier League specifically. No other league will do. Premier League is a league to watch. And don't ask me why, but I only knew Crystal Palace and Tottenham Hotspur in the Premier League. I didn't know, I knew United and Arsenal for sure because they were like mammoths when I was in school. But other than that, I knew only Crystal Palace and Tottenham was playing. And it was the London Derby in Wembley where Son scored that solo goal, running past Jorginho and Luis and some other player as well. And I was like, dude, damn,
This is
guy,
my team.
what a goal. I was like, this is the first match I'm watching. This is the first goal I'm watching. And the subsequent week, Son Heung-min scored another curler from his left foot against Leicester City. And it was outside the box. And I was like, dude, this guy is amazing. And yeah, I think I've been watching every match since. And I didn't even know when I became a fan, to be honest. To be very honest, I realized that I was a fan the night we were facing Ajax away from home. And I recognized how my emotions were changing with the match. I was getting anxious. I was getting sweaty. And when that last second goal went in, it was what, 3:30 a.m. In India, and I remember jumping from my bed, shouting out, going entire house running, and my dad's like, "Dude, it's 4 a.m. What are you up to?" And that's when I realized that, oh my God, I do love this club through and through.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the story of how Arya fell into this bottomless pit of sadness and despair.
I pointed
my God.
at the crest. You need to cut this out. No. All right. It's not bottomless because there's passion and there's hunger, which is clearly visible in the players. I mean,
Of course, the bottomless pit contains sadness and despair, not hunger and passion. That's why I was careful to word my ways, to use my words the right way. So yes, another a question on similar lines, Arya, like because again, similarly, like when we talk about all these clubs and fans in India in particular, like we have this thing called glory hunting fans. Like that's a common term that is given to fans from places which are not really close to England or do not really have a culture of football that has a fan following and everything. Amidst all this, you guys managed to build Mumbai Spurs. So what was the experience at the beginning when you guys started organizing group screenings or meetups or whatever it might be? How was it at the beginning, and how have things grown with each manager? Because when Pochettino was your manager, your level of football, the brand of football that you were playing was totally different. In my mind, that's where you guys probably got a lot of fans. Yes, Mourinho came in. Mourinho is like blockbuster. He keeps running his mouth and all that is fine. But the brand of football that he brought in and what you guys are playing right now, what you guys played under Pochettino is very different. So how was the experience right from the beginning, and how has it been so far? Like, what are the numbers that you guys have?
All right. So in Mumbai Spurs, we are
you guys officially recognized?
We are affiliated with the club. Yeah, we are affiliated with the club, and I think we're close to 300 now. I think we're 298 to be precise, and we had a screening covered on Diwali. We had a screening covered by Tottenham itself, and they had a crew sent down. They wanted to cover the screening, and we had to pull off some strings for that as well. So we had a few of our guys had an interview set up with the crew members, and they had explained the whole story, which is available on YouTube and Spurs Play, by the way. Tottenham Hotspur comes to Mumbai. So yeah. And
we'll try and add the link to that episode in the description. So
please do. Yeah. And that video has shot up Mumbai Spurs through the roof, because I'm adding 10-15 names daily. It's in the past 3 days. I'm adding people like my hands are tired, and they're like, add me.
So happy problems to have, right?
Yeah, definitely. And coming back to your point of the numbers increasing and things like that, my first screening with Mumbai Spurs was the opening game of 2019-20 season, and it was against City. It was a joint screening. We were 3 people of Spurs versus plenty of Man City fans, and I think won that game 3-2. And
you got that number. You got that. Anytime you say City Spurs game, I'm gonna be like, the first thing that comes to my head is just Spurs win. Okay, then now let's talk about things. Yeah,
don't touch wood. Don't jinx that, bro. Don't jinx that. It's coming this weekend. I mean, yeah. So just imagine 3 people are singing, not 3, 2, because I was new. I didn't know what goes on. I didn't know, so 2 people are singing, shouting on top of their voice, Manchester City, it's happened again. And I'm like, whoa, all right, is this how it goes? All right, that was my first experience. Cut to the screening, which is going to happen this Sunday at 10 p.m. On a Sunday night, it is very, very tough to get people to come to screenings, because obviously we've got work the subsequent day. But I think we've got good 40-45 numbers. And to be honest, even that on such an odd time and day is, I think, commendable for us. It's not tough to arrange screenings and get people together and stuff like that. Manage
Mhm.
the pubs and it's a little tough. Yeah.
Yeah. I know.
Trust me.
It is.
So we used to watch games quite late in the evenings, as you said. Mostly these Champions League games come in the middle of the night, and more often
Yeah.
than not, that we have to be getting ready for work the next day. So trust me, how this works. And myself and Arun,
Yeah, we
But
did
wait,
play
wait,
in the
wait.
Champions League
Did you
once
just say
upon a.
Champions League?
Yeah, we did play in the Champions League once upon a time.
My God.
That's another thing.
Yeah. Once upon a time.
once
Yeah,
upon
once upon a time.
a time. That
When
looked
you guys were
awesome.
kids, yeah. Yeah, we did
But
play
guess
in the
what? Now we're not kids anymore. But okay. The good thing is, I think there's a 99% probability that you'll be playing Champions League again. So
There's 100%
congratulations.
probability that we'll be playing Champions League and also probably celebrating Tottenham. So like we are more than ever like bullish about it. I would put it that way. I think like
With
the way in which we are talking
and
right
you have
now
all the
is a
right to
reflection
be.
of that. Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I have nothing to say. Honestly, I was talking to a friend because I want, like, the whole idea was to come with another person, right? So, and my friend was like, bro, what will you go and say? We have nothing to say. They are on top of the league. They are dictating the whole league. How can you even go up and say? And what will you banter about?
No.
We'll see.
It's interesting that you mentioned that, Arya. Because that's the question that I was actually coming on to. How different is this game significantly as compared to the one exactly the same fixture last year? Because last year, I mean, Arsenal were playing decently well and all those sort of things, and they were in the reckoning for top four. And we knew the fact that this was the game which is going to decide. I mean, penultimately, we lost a few games along the way that actually made it easier that this was an all or nothing game last year. Yeah. How different is this fixture as compared to the one last year?
See, every match, every North London derby match is different because it's not about the score, it's not about how we play, it's not about definitely it's about who wins and who's got the bragging rights. But what I've learned in these 4-5 years is that form against Arsenal does not matter. You can be playing superb, but when you go to the Emirates, a tie is probably the best you can hope for, right? Because I was so sure that we'll get the
it's the
double
same for
against
us.
y'all.
Over the last few seasons, it's been the same for us. Like, when we come to the lane, like we haven't won since 2014. That's almost a decade now. And that was never the case. Like I've seen videos of Henry saying, I've never lost to Tottenham in my life. And that's amazing. But that wasn't the case. Like it's been the same. When we come to like even this one, as bullish as we are, in a corner of my mind, there's always this thing saying like, we're probably going to get a point or none at all. And I do not feel about this against any other team. That's how you guys have come up. I know I've been bantering a lot, but credit where it's due,
See, it's likewise for us. I mean, Arsenal have been playing very dangerously, I would say. And honestly, it makes me want to puke the way y'all have been playing because it's so good. And it's not fair.
At least you're able to stay awake during our games. Like we just fall asleep. If you're like lacking sleep, you just turn on a Tottenham game and that's it. 3 minutes.
Well, okay. Okay, I have no comeback to that because I don't know what to come back to. Top of the league, you can't say much, guys. I mean, don't at me after this. You can't say much when the team is top of the league. But I mean, I was very hopeful that y'all will fall in the winter because everyone knows how Arsenal plays in the winter. And this time out, it's not happening. So I'm really hoping that
the winter is still no. Trust me, a lot of Arsenal fans. Sorry to cut you off, but a lot of Arsenal fans are still worried about something going wrong, and the winter is still long. So it's
Yeah.
like we wouldn't fall off the perch and go fifth. That's not the belief. We most of us are confident that we'll finish top four. But anything beyond that, we are always like looking out for it. Something bad happening. It's the PTSD of all these years, I would say.
I mean, yeah, clearly, because when I started watching football, Arsenal was honestly a banter club. Uh, we, we thrashed y'all since I've started watching football, except at the Emirates, obviously. And I think we won one of the Carabao matches back in 2018. Again, one of the first few matches I watched. So, those matches are really stuck in my brain because those were the matches I got mesmerized by. That Delhi Alley chip goal past Leno, I think it was, right? Or
Possibly.
maybe I don't remember.
We don't tend to remember Carabao Cup games. We don't care about them as much. In fact, like we're happy when Arsenal loses in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah. So okay, fair. I don't know what to say. I really came in thinking that I'm gonna get bantered on, I'm gonna get pissed on probably, and I'm just gonna take it like a man because I pretty much nothing to say.
See, I think fair, Arya, I think it's. I mean, I completely understand. If I had started watching football in say 2018, 2017, and based on the way it's been going on, right, you're right to think that Arsenal are definitely a banter club, and trust me when I say this as an Arsenal fan.
And the media always makes sure that we are always the team over the last 7 or 8 years. We were always the team that was supposed to be replaced by a Leicester, a West Ham, and Everton, a Newcastle now, basically because it was easy, and it's easy to rile up Arsenal fans. You always see that narrative. It's easy. You say something simple about Arsenal, we'll come with all guns loading, saying that we won the Invincibles, we won, stuff like that. So that's always been the case, and it's an accumulation of all that's coming out as banter in this episode. Unfortunately, you're the one who gets
I would say fortunately, because hoping that we come up with some form and we beat y'all out this time, and I'm really nervous, guys, to be very honest.
Yeah, I feel the other way, Arun. So I don't think you need to be worried at all because it's at home. You don't really have anything to. You don't really have anything at stake. Now, of course, top four is something
true.
So
obviously,
so this is some other games.
But again, the process. I think this is where.
Let's be clear about it. Is it our process or your process?
Yeah. Our process. We've not even written down the process. All right. I can. If I start talking, it'll be like it's 3 versus none. Because I hope sometime Levy watches my podcast when I'm speaking about him, because he needs to hear things which clearly are not being said to him or not being heard by him. And obviously with Conte and stuff, how tough it is to have someone who doesn't understand the dynamics of actual football, and it's just not business. This is not business. This is a game. This is a sport.
To be fair,
monetize
sorry to cut you there. To be fair, I think Kroenkes are slightly getting more involved, and they are starting to understand. I got that impression as well for Spurs when they appointed Conte, because that was quite ambitious by their own means. So I was thinking maybe Levy has finally realized that he has to either invest, finally start putting in some money to get a return.
It was very clear, because I think when Mourinho got sacked 2 days before a final, we were shocked. We were like, book tickets to London. We are going to protest. What is this? It was really shocking. And I think that's the moment where on social media and people who are there in London, they just, lost their senses, because they were like, एक तो we don't get to play finals that often. All right. And ऊपर से you are sacking the one of the best managers of the world 2 days before.
Did you want him to
At
continue
least,
then? Did you like the majority want Mourinho to continue as the manager?
honestly, it really doesn't matter squat what fans think, because at the end of the day, see, I'm going to be honest here. It doesn't matter what I think. It doesn't matter what probably y'all think about
No.
Arteta, or the when he said trust the process, or when he started drawing hearts and brains holding hands. I mean, y'all, that was a pretty much effed up thing to watch on the documentary. By the way,
Well, you did watch it, but still, yeah, one more view for
that's
Amazon.
because my best friend is an Arsenal fan. So yeah, I had we were like,
You need to have good such guys with you in the group.
I know. Yeah, she's actually one of the other reasons I started watching Tottenham.
Oh, man.
Just to
Is that
piss
as
off.
much you hate
Yeah.
her? I can't understand.
I guess we'll never know.
So, Bob, I'm just going to ask the same question to you that you asked Arya, in the sense, like, what has changed between the last time we played Tottenham? That was a nightmarish game. I remember as soon, like, for that one and the Newcastle game, as soon as we stepped on the pitch and we saw the crowd, I knew that we were not going to get anything out of the game, but things have changed a lot. How confident are you going into this game? Like, given the stakes that are riding on this are not the same as what it was last time. Things are very different right now.
I think I was reflecting on this for the last week or so. Obviously, I mean, I'm much more confident than what I was going into the last game. But then, having said that, it doesn't really matter what sort of a form that we are going in, and then what sort of a team that we have. We've got the personnel now this time. I feel probably that it's better than what we had last time around, the same fixture. And we now have people with more experience. If you can say, people like Zinchenko have stepped up, or they have actually upped the levels of how we've been playing as a team. And obviously there's a lot of calmness in the way that our defense has been holding up. But nothing will really matter at all, stepping onto the pitch, because it's obviously a new game. It's against an opposition that we really want to make a point to prove that we've improved from where we were last season. But yeah, no, I think it's going to be pretty difficult. We feel we've improved from where we were. But then, having said that, even if we were to come out with a point or something, I'm predicting here, but still, even if we were to come out with a point, from there would still be a massive achievement, irrespective of how our form Tottenham are in, or
I agree for sure.
Injuries. Doesn't matter at all. Absolutely doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, form goes out of the window when we step on the pitch.
Yeah. I wouldn't have been this worried I wasn't this worried when I was watching Robbie Keane and Jamie Redknapp play for Spurs and Ledley King play for Spurs. At that time, I knew for sure that we were going to win. And then, like, they got this guy, Pochettino.
Yeah, so I think we have to accept that. I think those days are. I don't think it's going to come in, at least in a short while from now. Trust me, I've been watching football for a long time, that I can say with my eyes closed, or even without looking at the team, that Arsenal are going to win there, no matter wherever they play. That used to be those days in the 90s, late 90s and early 2000s. I'm talking about. But then gone are the days, and we have to understand that there's been shift. We have to admit that ourselves.
What sort of shift?
You can't call that a power shift, because you need something to show for whatever that you've done so far, right? But at least shift in the way that we play. I honestly, for me, as an Arsenal fan, I used to admire Pochettino, the way that he was actually coming through. But then, thanks to Levy, he wasn't backed up enough, which was a good for the rival fans, because had he been backed up, right, I will tell you, Tottenham could have actually gone on further as well. Maybe, we don't know, they would have even won a trophy. Yeah.
At that point, like,
here, but then I think that's what I'm trying to mean here.
No, but that's true though. Like during that period of time, Tottenham were like the team that every neutral fan wanted to watch, and that for me like
Champagne
added like
football.
yes, that was exclusively reserved for Wenger's team, and he was the one who brought that in. And then I heard champagne football and Tottenham being mentioned in the same sentence. I literally wanted to kill myself. I wouldn't lie. You know, it was. I'm not a religious person, not a practicing person, but like when you guys reached the Champions League finals, I prayed to every god that I did not know. I found new gods to pray to. That's how it was. That's how life was during that time. I'm glad that you guys fucked things. So moving on, I have another question for Arya. I think like this is something that you guys would be, as Spurs fans, would be talking about as well. Last season, you guys finished fourth, and you guys finished fourth very emphatically. Like from the situation that you were, you made a fight back, and then we were 4 points ahead, and I knew we were gonna fuck up at some point in time because of the inexperience of the squad. And you guys, with the mentality of Conte and with the experience that he had, you guys jumped in. We gave it to you guys. You took it with open arms, and you did what you're supposed to do. You finished fourth. That must have definitely increased the expectations for the next season from your side, because you guys were odds-on favorite for at least finishing third or second in most of the pundits' lists of top four finishes and everything. And you made a few decent signings as well. You got though none of them were world beaters, you got players who are prem proven, and that's what you need in a league like this, especially when the competition is increasing. You're not doing badly right now, right? You guys are fifth. You guys have 33 points. You guys are fifth, and top four is just within striking distance. How would you describe the season and whatever you have done so far in this season? I would also add another clause in there. Are you happy and satisfied? Because I took a dig at you guys in terms of how you guys play and what you guys put out on the pitch. You seem to be a team that just wakes up in the 80th minute, right? As a fan, are you happy and satisfied with the way your team is playing? And do you think it's sustainable?
Talking about sustainability,
because this is sometimes something that I think every time I watch a game, how can fans be happy watching this week in, week out? It's you get the results, but then
subjective.
When you watch it,
it's
that's what I want to hear.
Honestly,
Honestly,
I feel it's subjective. But talking about sustainability, I think going this way will not sustain. And I'm talking in the matter of winning the hearts of fans, winning matches, or let it be, controlling the dressing room. It's not going to sustain, because we all know what Harry Kane wants. We had a whole debacle last summer transfer window. We don't want to that to happen again, right? And with Conte, when he came in, things shifted. There was an instant sense of calm. At least I'm talking about Mumbai Spurs, because because I'm connected to them. And it's a whole
fans are fickle. We just need one thing to go wrong for us to start bashing the team and the manager again. That's for sure.
So when Conte was assigned, there was a sense of calm. There was a sense of trust that something will happen, and something indeed did happen. Now, before Conte was there, Nuno, even though he won Manager of the Month the first month, right? I think I watched 2 games of Spurs, and I was like, if this guy is here, we might be relegated. 2 games in the Premier League. I said that, and I was like, please, we won those 2 matches, 1-0 both of them, right? And but there was no intensity. I felt there was no communication between the players mid-game when Nuno was there, and there was no okay, let's go forward, let's find something out. There was no hunger to even find a pass, and which was completely opposite to what I saw under Pochettino, under Mourinho. And under Pochettino, it was something very different. It was quick football. It was zip, 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 long ball, crosses, header, goal, right? And with Mourinho, it was a little slower, and I did not know how Mourinho played his football. But I was told that that's when I learned what Park the Bus actually meant, because Mourinho came in, right? And I'm like, bro, people watch football. ये matches भी देखते हैं लोग. And I mean, I have anxiety. I can't, not watch a match. But when Nuno was appointed manager, I stopped watching Spurs. I was like, I'll watch a Tottenham match when this guy's sacked, because I'm not watching football like this. I mean, it was too much for me to watch just a sad bunch of 11 men kicking the ball around and doing, hoping to win, and winning after a point not. So
See, I think if I look at as an Arsenal fan, right, the same sort of perspective. I mean, we all saw how Pochettino, took this team out, and then took it out from Arsenal shadows, if you can say, and possibly played a brand of football that everyone.
I think, in my head, sorry to cut you off, Bob, what the biggest thing that he did for you guys is to make you think beyond Arsenal. Like, not just worry about the NLD and not just think about pipping Arsenal, but actually do something beyond that. And he had the right set of players to be able to do that. I think that made a huge difference in how he played. Sorry to cut you off, Bob.
No. So I was what I was alluding to is the fact that Daniel Levy all along the way, I mean, has been wanting someone who can actually work with minimal tools, right? And Pochettino was one such person. Who didn't really have any expectations. He obviously joined in from Southampton, so he didn't really have much expectations set on him. He was pretty new, and nobody was there to sort of judge him there in that arena. And he had some decent set of players there who he really groomed well, and then took them all to the next levels. And then came the expectations, right? Obviously, the stadium move was there in progress. And it was probably 10 or 15 years too late, because football these days doesn't just work on, talents and all those sort of things. Gone are the class of 92 days. And then, Wenger trying to win with kids and everything. These days, it's all about investment. Even the biggest teams do investment, and even the smaller teams need to do investment for them to stay up in the league and stay up in the ladder. That's how football unfortunately works, right? There's
except for Tottenham.
But yeah, see, that's what. So that's precisely where I was actually coming to, because Daniel Levy is still set on that, and this is probably where there was actually a lot of rumblings going around when Mourinho was there.
But
he did get his signings, one or two that he wanted, but then Mourinho actually wanted a whole lot of other signings as well, just like how he expected things to happen at Chelsea. Obviously, Tottenham are not Chelsea, I mean, if you look at all the London clubs, at least the top ones, Spurs coming from a very traditionalist sort of a background, with a lot of Jewish influence and all those sort of things. They're I mean, if you look back at history, they are traditionally stingy spenders on things, on everything. So you have to as well take that sort of thing into account when you're talking about such things. It was quite a bold move when they got in Patrassi and Conte together. Patrassi was actually pivotal in bringing in Conte because they had
absolutely
working together. I mean, not all people think that whatever Patrassi touches is gold, but that's obviously not the case. Having followed Juventus for a long time, I can say that he has equal number of misses than to the successes that he had with the players. Now, having said that, they were sort of trying to put a similar project which they did at Juventus in Tottenham, but unlike here it's been managed by Levy. So that's where the interesting thing comes in. You obviously think they are actually doing decent bit of spending and all those sort of things, but then Conte is very much demanding. He really wants the personnel that he wants, and if he doesn't like someone, he'll straight away say it out in the press, just like how he did for Spence when he was unveiled there. So it's it's quite important that Conte is being, kept happy with the signings and all those sort of things. I'm sort of getting the feeling that got into a tipping point last year. He was on the brink of moving out, and then he managed to be convinced to stay back. Conte, I mean, and then he went on to achieve top 4. But however, it's slowly starting to bubble up. His frustrations, I mean, in not getting the players that he really wants to. That's what I feel as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah. So my opinion on this is how I feel Levy's mind works. I mean, we all know Levy. I mean, at least we as Spurs fans, we know that Daniel Levy is an excellent businessman. There is no doubt about it, and there is no debate to it. Daniel Levy is excellent when it comes to business, when it comes to negotiations. I mean, Perez, the Madrid president himself, has said Tottenham was one of the most difficult clubs he had to negotiate with. Right? Daniel Levy was one of the hardest men to negotiate with. It's not easy. That man doesn't come. He has guns. I mean, when it comes to money, that man has guns, right? And I feel the best signing Tottenham ever made in the history is Paratici himself, because that guy. I mean, I've read articles. I've spoken to friends who live in London. That guy's always on his phone. He's always working. He's always calling. He's always doing something, and especially during the transfer window, right? And as you said, he had a huge role to play to bring Conte in. And I feel now that Conte is in, and coming back to my point where Levy is an excellent businessman, I think what he's trying to do is settle a strong foundation for the club with the stadium, with the fans, with the outreach to the community. The whole NHS thing, we volunteered our entire stadium to the NHS staff during COVID. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of other clubs are doing something as well. I mean, Levy is trying to just build up a foundation for a football team to come together at. Maybe this is what he's thinking.
You think Conte would be staying in Tottenham for a long time, that you can imagine? Obviously, he looks for success, as you know, right? If you follow Conte, if Conte quit Inter when they won the league because he was not happy with the future investments that they were planning to do. That's how Conte actually ranks himself, and then Conte demands success. And
right.
How are you going to keep Conte happy?
So there's only one way of keeping Antonio Conte happy, and that is just listen to him. He says sit, you sit. He says stand, you stand. He says turn around, jump, you turn around and jump. That's what you do. All right. And Levy needs to understand that. Let him do the business, man. Do the business. We're not saying no. You're the best at it. Do it. Don't get into football and footballing directors and stuff like that. You've hired Paratici for that. Let him do his job. Let him hire the men he wants to hire and the men Conte wants to hire. Because football is not business. It can't be played like that. It can't be run like that. And Levy needs to understand that, because if he wants money, he has to have Conte right there, where he's at the club and he's managing with everything with him in the center of it. Because if Conte leaves now, I think there will be a stampede in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because I feel, I mean, I'll go to London, man. I'll fly out there. I'll be like, dude, what the heck? We have been putting our patience since so many years. And you have given us the fruits of it with a brilliant amount of signings this summer transfer window, and a few in the last year as well. But there has to be consistency, right? You can't just give up on someone. If Conte is threatening to leave. And if he's threatening, by all means, he has the right to, because he's a world-class manager. He said getting top 4 last season was a miracle for us. I agree. I got taken away with the fact, I thought now that we've got Conte, we got top 4 in that span of time, we are title contenders this season. And the reality was slapped on my face by none other than Arsenal, by saying, hello, mate, we are here. The process has been going for quite some time. And let's, let's see how it goes. I mean, sometimes the Arsenal thing being on top really hit hard in the gut. So, expecting us to be there, but instead seeing y'all there. I mean, coming back to something Arun said a while ago, that how do I feel about being fifth and with how we've been playing? I think I would have been content if Arsenal was not on top of the league. Nonetheless, how we play. Nonetheless, how we play or how we perform, right? So yeah, I mean, I think my judgments have been clouded too because I'm seeing Arsenal on top of the league.
No. It's very normal. Like I said, we felt the same way when you guys were doing better. Like, like every time you finish in the top 4, it was a miracle. Every season that you finished was like, my God, these guys are finishing top 4. How is it a miracle? How is this miracle happening? That's exactly the thought that all of us had. So, Bob, just one question about where we are as Arsenal, where we are right now, and all the transfer activity that is going on. We made a mistake of not signing anybody last January, and it came back to bite us in the bum. And there was an example with Spurs signing Kulusevski and Bentancur, who went on to help them get into the top 4. So, and there is always a possibility when it comes to Arsenal that we, in spite of all the chatter that's happening around this Mudryk transfer, there's always a possibility that it might fall through, So given where we are right now, where do you expect us to finish? And with our signings absolutely necessary right now for us to say finish in top 4 or finish in title positions?
Okay.
What would you?
I think I'll just reiterate the expectations that I've been yelling out in every part. I mean, despite of the fact that we are on top of the league and then we are 11 points more than our neighbors and all those sort of things, it's still our expectations should still be set on finishing the top 4. That's how we started off.
South, we're not neighbors.
It's a 5-kilometer drive. I'm not gonna say it's yeah. You guys are neighbors.
Closest neighbors that we can say.
The real noisy neighbors. Yeah.
So I was going to say that the expectations as an Arsenal fan should still be finishing top 4. I mean, if we go on to do anything further from there, it's a bonus, it's an achievement, but we should just be aiming for the top 4, and we should just keep progressing on that. There could be possible setbacks along the way if we manage to get at least a point or sometimes 3 points as well from them. We still have to face City twice, so that's actually that's 2 big games, and then of course we have the Tottenham game and then the United game right after that as well. So
we've got to play Liverpool at Anfield as well.
Yes, so we've got all the
tough. Oh, you've got
yes,
a lot of fixtures, man. I mean,
yeah. But still, I mean,
winter is coming, guys. Winter is coming.
Oh, see, that's what say.
It's if it does come, it's gonna hit you guys first before we do. You guys are gonna be the shield. So,
I forgot about that. Yeah. Continue.
And that's why we are a little more confident this time,
I was going to say, I think 25 games that we've played in all competitions so far, and we've managed to get 20 wins. That's actually the least number of games that we managed to get 20 wins. So at least, we could definitely say, if we keep continuing up this form in some way or not, we'll end up in top 4 for sure, that I can think of. I'm not sure if we are title contenders, considering City and all the things that they will do. So I won't go that far as such myself. So to be realistic, I still feel we are going to be top four sort of a thing. That answered a part of your question, but then I sort of forgot what was the other thing that you asked me.
The transfers.
Correct. Yes, coming to the transfers, it's vitally important, as Arteta would probably have realized from last season on. However, I think this whole Edu and Arteta thing is a bit different to how we've done in the past. We're not doing knee jerks anymore. I mean, even though we understand that the team is lacking in some areas, be it midfield or wingers or whatever, we are not jerking off and then we're not buying someone who is available on the market just for the sake of it. I'm thankful that we didn't have to pay the amount of loan fee for how much Chelsea have secured João Felix, because it's quite ridiculous for the time that he's going to play. Add to the fact that he got red carded straight away in the first game, missing out the next 3 games. So
we can take this moment to all laugh at Chelsea, as the horrible neighbors that we have.
That's the sort of the ridiculous move that they are doing. I'm thankfully that we're not following them on that. So we have to be doing signings, of course, to help with the squad rotation and all those sort of things. We still have our Europa League games to continue. I don't know how far that we are going to go for that, but still we have that Europe distraction as well to go along for. So we need signings, at least 1 or 2, for us to stay in contention and not give up on games that we would usually do for lack of personnel or whatever.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point.
I've got a question, if you all don't
Yes.
mind. You said you would have 2 or 3 signings to still be done, right? What position would you be covering? I mean, looking at the Arsenal squad, I feel
I think
you've got it all covered, no?
Even yes, from an outsider perspective, yes, but then we knew the fact that we were pretty light on midfield, right? When I say light, not just in numbers, I'm talking about in quality. Our central midfield,
that's the nightmare scenario for every Arsenal fan right now, is one of Saka or Partey getting injured. More Partey, that's what I think. Bob, you're also hinting at that, right? I think if we do have to talk about it, the defensive midfielder position out there, the job that Partey does is not done by any other midfielder in the league right now. And getting a replacement for him who would be able to control the game in the same way that he does and enable play for us is almost an impossible task right now, the way in which he makes us tick. So that is one big area of concern for us. Yes, we are at the top of the league, which makes us title contenders because of our position. But if you look at someone who's won the title or been challenging for the title, the Liverpools or the City have a bench that has the likes of you have
everyone,
and compare that to us. We have an Emil Smith Rowe coming back from an injury, and a Reece Nelson who gets injured every 3 games, or a Marquinhos who's played one game at the biggest level. That's where we feel we are not ready for the title challenge there yet.
Yeah.
That's a depth that we're talking about. Liverpool, you talk about Liverpool, even now they have a front 5 or 6 that every team would want, players from them, even though they're not doing well. That's the kind of squad depth that we are talking about, and we unfortunately do not have it. I would say, Bob, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, wait. Sorry to cut you off, but ladies and gentlemen, this is the difference between an Arsenal fan and a Tottenham fan. Nobody in Tottenham Hotspur want Darwin Núñez in their front 3. But clearly, we heard Arun say that.
Oh, by the way, we also were talking about, I had a segment, but then you made it really easy for me to talk about it, in the sense that we do need Kane from you guys, because that's another position where we're lacking bench strength. When something happens to Eddie, we need Kane to come off the bench and help us. So that would be another position. Yeah, that's another position that we are actually lacking someone there.
Right.
So Bob, correct me if I'm wrong. Central defensive midfield cover for Partey, a right winger mainly for Saka cover, and then right now, given that you are here, I would say Kane as a bench option for Eddie.
And how about Kane on free transfer, man? Just like how we unveiled Sol Campbell.
See, if you all think Okay, I'm gonna lay this down very easily for y'all.
Hey, by
If
the
you
way,
think no no
Arya,
no
just
no no
before
no
you go any
no
further,
no no,
I'll
no.
say we've got up-team pictures of Kane in an Arsenal shirt, even before he wore a white one.
Fine, good for y'all. But guess what? He went from wearing an Arsenal t-shirt to owning that Arsenal club, right? He's Mr. North London Derby, all right? He always scores against y'all. He's gonna score again and again and again. All right.
And
This
still will
man
have
will
zero
not get
trophies to
enough
show at the
and
end
he
of
can't
things.
get
Yes.
enough. It's
Yes.
this is the North London.
Yeah, he'll still have like zero trophies to show at the end of the day. So, like, let him keep scoring the goals while we
Oh, they
keep
have
winning the
audit.
trophies.
Ironical. This is the no, no, no. This is this is ironical because you started the show with how we ridicule glory hunters today. But okay, if you want to go back to
Even
Yeah,
in
that's
the
a
worst
nice.
times, Arya, even in our worst times, we managed to win 3 FA Cups. Not one, not two, three.
Oh, but Kane is a world class striker. They have Kane. So that's a win for them. Keeping Kane every season is their trophy. I understand. That was supposed to be my next question. If you can quickly give me an answer, is like there's always a talk about Kane leaving, right? Like the City move fell through in the summer, and we saw like how that affected him as a player and all that. But right now, I find like with United lacking a striker and them going for someone, or Chelsea lacking a striker and them making the moves, or Bayern Munich looking for a striker, is the fear of losing Kane as a fan more for you guys now than ever before? Given that, like, Kane is at an age where he wants to win stuff, and this ridicule
no.
that we keep talking about, no fear for you guys.
Kane is
You
Tottenham.
see
No.
him, you see
At
him
least not
struggling
for me.
and die as a unhappy man, a sad, depressed soul at Tottenham
No,
forever.
man.
Yeah.
I mean, see, I feel what I feel. His achievement if he wins a big trophy. I'm not saying FA Cup or Carabao Cup. I'm saying either the Premier League or the Champions League. All right.
Neither
If
of which
he's
you guys have
winning,
any chance. So, yeah, go on.
we don't know that yet. We don't know
No,
that
we
yet.
know that.
We
We
don't
know
know
that for
that
sure.
yet.
Yeah.
Not for this season. No, no, this season I'm not talking about. Okay. This season I'm not talking about because if we overtake y'all and City this season, it will be a miracle. I mean, there is no two words about it. Actually, a miracle, right? So I'm not talking about this season. I'm talking about maybe next or next or next, which is also a thin chance because right now I'm trusting our process and I'm trusting Antonio Conte and God knows I'm trusting Daniel Levy with this. But yeah, uh, I think if he leaves today, if he goes to Madrid or Bayern or City, winning there, I feel, yeah, obviously he wins something. Congratulations to him. But don't you think he will feel lot more better, a lot more confident if he did it with Spurs after so many years of trying and so many years of hard work and things like that? I feel, uh, I think I can look at him stay at least for another season, maybe two,
Just,
maybe.
just, uh,
You,
just
you,
talking
you can
about
draw
players.
parallels with Shearer, but like at least Shearer has one like league title to show for. Kane doesn't have any. So I don't know if as a player, especially given how you guys are like running and getting players and all that, I do not know if I were Kane, I do not know if I will have the confidence when I can see the likes of like others winning stuff elsewhere.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
I'm here. I'm supposed to be the best in England. I'm still not winning anything. Like at the end of the day, my CV
Right.
has not even a Carabao Cup to show.
Not just England, not just England. I mean, he's the England captain. It's a pretty big thing to be. It's a pretty big thing. It's a big what do you call it? Big shoes to fill, right? In the England captain, and he is a world class striker. He's proven it out and again every time. Just because he doesn't have anything in this trophy cabinet doesn't mean he's any less of a player or less of a world class striker.
That's it's
We
coming
all
up
have
from a
seen
self
him.
selfish Tottenham fan. So yes, so, that's the only way I can put it.
Maybe you can replace it with realistic Tottenham fan, all right? Or maybe realistic fan. Just say realistic.
Yeah. Realistic Tottenham fan is good enough. I would take that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the last part where we talk about like the team and the predictions and everything, who's going to you think play for you guys is like, are Richarlison and Bentancur ready to play? Will it be Kulusevski starting?
I think okay. I've not read the latest injury updates in the past few days, but the last time I think I read that Kulusevski and Bentancur were ready. Kulusevski is ready. Sorry, Bentancur and Richarlison. Yeah, they both are ready. Bentancur for sure. Richarlison is still a 50-50.
Okay. From our side, I think like we just have like 11 fit players to play with, like, one or two kids. So I think it's just going to be the same team that we
except Jesus, I feel, right? Jesus is there.
Yeah. Jesus is not there.
Jesus not there.
Yeah. Smith Rowe will be back in the squad, but then like apart from him, the only other senior players we will have would be like in terms of attack would be Fabio Vieira.
Mudryk, the kid. No Mudryk in the last starting 11.
No, I don't think he's going to be there for the term. Maybe the United game, even that would be a stretch. Like I would be surprised if he's there for the United game, but definitely not the NLD. He's not going to be there. So that's for us. And I think in terms of when it comes to the predictions, let's go for it. Bob, I think I'll start with you for the predictions from our side.
Why me, man? Why me? If I were to say it as an Arsenal fan, obviously we want to win there every game. And I would actually put a 2-1 score like against us for us to win. So if talking as an Arsenal fan from my heart, but if I talk from my mind, right, it's going to be a pretty difficult game. Form is completely not even in question. So I would take a 1-1 draw or a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, Aarya?
Can I say that I don't want to predict, because every time I've predicted a score,
please predict.
Maybe for the first time you're predicting it in an Arsenal podcast, so things might be different. You have to think in that way as well.
All right. Honestly, it seems a bit much, but even I want Tottenham to win, obviously. But realistically speaking, I am seeing a 2-2 or a 3-3 draw. And a 3-3 seems more plausible and more possible. Sorry, not possible.
Yeah. Makes 3-3. Sense. Yeah. I was gonna say 2-1 like Bob, but that's what I want there to happen. I don't want us conceding more than one goal. It'll be like a statement. I don't see us getting a clean sheet. So 2-1 win would be good, but I think I'll agree with you. I'll go for a 2-2 draw as well. That's where I see this going. As bullish as I want to be, this is the truth. So I think I'll stick to that. I think we've discussed all the topics that we wanted to, and thanks a lot, Aarya, for joining us and being a wonderful sport.
Lovely to be here.
Through all the banter. Yeah, it was fantastic to have you. And depending on the result, I think if we do win, we'll be featuring you in more episodes. So you'll be a good luck charm if we do win. So thank you very much for joining, Bob.
I really hope I come here often without you all winning this match, but okay. Let's see what happens. Whatever happens for the best.
Yes, whatever happens for the best. And with that, we come to the end of this episode. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys. We'll see you in the next one with hopefully a win over Tottenham. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.